What's going on, everybody? It's Flobo Boys. This is another edition of Flobo. Saw it on Netflix. That's the show we go deep into the archives and chill out and mine gems of TV shows, movies, and the like. And if something that you want to suggest, I go and review, you please let me know. I mean, there's some episodes out there like Don't Look Up. That was user submitted, so appreciate that. And always appreciate those who are listening to this on the audio version around the world. This show is actually, for a lot of people and for a lot of countries, there are only slices of Flobito, but there's a lot more where that came from. Learn more at newamsterdam.com, KNAW, If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Your boy Flobito, that's me, film school graduate who decided to make things accessible and chill as I can, because I know when people graduate film school, they're very like uppity about things, and I'm not that guy. All right, today we're talking about the movie Lulli, which is out of Brazil, so it's a Brazilian Portuguese, and during the month of December and January, it was a top watched, non-English film on the platform. 16 million streams last month, on pace to do just about that again. So I really wanted to watch it, one, as a piece of entertainment, but to see what would be the massive appeal for those who may not speak Brazilian Portuguese, myself included. Just for my own personal housekeeping, I tend to watch shows with the original audio, the original soundtrack, and subtitles. I'm not sure if you're a subtitle person or if you're a dubbed person. Personal preference, you should probably enjoy the film you see fit. There is an exception to that. If you guys have known or listened to my Lupin episodes, I knew the guy who performed the English dub for Lupin personally. So out of respect for him, I always check out that show dubbed, but I'm usually subbed. So it was kind of cool to see the rhythm of Brazilian Portuguese to an English speaker. It kind of sounds like if Spanish and French had a baby, but I know I don't want to oversimplify that. I know there's a whole lot more nuance, but this film is beautiful. I am talking about the color palette. I am talking about seeing the cityscapes and sights and sounds. I even talking about the wardrobes of it. It really has this like warm lived-in feeling in it that makes me want to go, I want to visit. And truth be told, there is a time where I was looking at my phone during the film, which I think a lot of us do when we're watching films at the comfort of our own home. But make sure that my 90-second period I did that, I paused the film to look at where can I visit. Brazil is fantastic. I'll hope to visit there someday. So this is, what do you call this one? A romantic comedy? I mean, there's romantic elements, there's funny elements, but it's ultimately a little bit of whimsical fantasy / science fiction about Lulli. That's the title character, a medical student that doesn't listen to anybody. It's really self-centered about herself, has her own path of how her life wants to be and who she wants to date and what she wants to do with her career, to the point where it looks like her relationship was over. It looks like she wasn't listening to the concerns of her parents, and her best friend left them high and dry when it's pushing her car, until a freak accident with an MRI machine gives her the power to read anyone's thoughts if they touch, which is kind of cool. It's definitely a kind of cool premise. It has a hyper realistic, like a heightened reality vibe to things, almost like a telenovela. Not really compare just because it uses the Latin language, but rather these are characters that don't exist in real life, but kind of do. Lulli would not be as well adjusted as she is if she was a real person, but we kind of know someone who's headstrong. We kind of know the best friend who tries to give you that bad advice. We kind of know that older lady that you're not really sure is treating your crush as a mother figure, or else they like them as well. So it's kind of cool to see these characters in this elevated premise of someone getting the powers of being able to read people's minds by touch. So it kind of works and it kind of fits. It's definitely the kind of movie you will put on if you're at your mom's house and you want to put something that's fun that you guys can laugh along with. It doesn't bore the heck out of you. That seems to be a common trend with the movies I review. I say, hey, look, there's definitely mama films, I like to call them, or dad films, or like films about like war and boats and crime movies. This is definitely Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon after church, and homemade meals are on the way of being cooked, and you decide to plop down in front of a movie where it has a little bit of a story, enough to say, I like this character in this scene. It's not too long. In fact, the movie's 80 minutes before the credits roll. Like, it is a breezy hour and 20-minute movie, and it kind of comes and goes. So That's the base of it. It is a romantic comedy set in medical school with a whimsical, fantastical element with a science fiction base. Lulli was electrocuted with an MRI machine. Not spoiling anything, it's in the log line of the show. But what happens throughout that whole adventure or misadventure, if you will, kind of makes it entertaining. What I do think that people will like about it is that the characters are different enough that we can always subscribe ourselves to it. I feel like in the rise of superhero movies, it's very apparent who are the good guys and who are the bad guys and who you should root for. I kind of miss the movies where everyone had just a different enough personality that made you go, I see myself in them. So in other ways, because it's a feature film, I still had a huge television element about that. Back when Sex in the City was big, about 15, 20 years ago, or It Never Went Away, if you're watching And Just Like That, there was always people that would say, oh, I'm such a Samantha, or I'm such a Carrie. You can find something here. I am such a Vanessa. I'm such a crazy best friend giving you bad advice. Here are the rating splits. Rotten Tomatoes has no critic score for Lulli, but a 17% audience score. So that would be rotten, but it was not certified rotten because critics didn't really have enough reviews on it. IMDb gives it a 4.7, and I can see that IMDb tends to be more of a conservative rating system, but in this case, I gotta say it's unfair. As a foreigner, as I am watching this film from Brazil, the story is pretty standard. No one's going to be in peril forever. There isn't going to be shootouts and car chases in a movie like this, and has enough of C, D, E, F, and G plot to go, oh yeah, I wonder what happens to that guy. I know what happens to that girl. It was a breezy thing. It's only an hour and 20-minute investment. It's a film you can watch with your younger siblings if you have people in their teens and early 20s, something moms and grandmas can appreciate. It's very hard to hit a crowd-pleasing movie. And if you don't like all of that, the fact it takes place in Brazil, which is really a place you don't really see represented often enough for American entertainment, which is really kind of tragic because, the whole Brazilian movie and television industry is huge and thriving. So it's really cool to see like a positive representation of the area there. Because I want to say this not to knock the movie or anything, or even to say anything negative, but as someone who was basically bombarded traditionally with negative images of Brazil, there were some scenes in the morning, a scene which was walking to work, I was like, is something bad going to happen? And I'm so relieved that it isn't. That's what we were talking about, representation. It's not just different heights and weights and ables and ages and skin color. It's just actually locales too. So that's a really cool positive statement. So yes, I enjoyed it. I think 4.7 is harsh. I think 17% is even harsher. Your boy, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a giant softy. At 7.5 would be my score just because of the pure entertainment value of it. Everyone there is beautiful. Everyone's $1,000,000. Mom, the daughters, the guys, everyone is just gorgeous from top to bottom, inside and out. Even the quote unquote villains, quote unquote, of this film find a way to redeem themselves, and Lulli included. So if you haven't already, check it out. Again, it's a quick investment. You'll love it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. That does it for this edition of Flobo on Netflix. Hey, look, if you want more content on my Patreon, patreon.com/Flobo Boys, not only I do movies for Netflix, I review one comedy special a month. You see, I'm not only am I a film school graduate, I'm actually a stand-up comedian. As far as my dates, I'm working on that. So it's very cool to be able to break down the specials on the Netflix platform. So go ahead and do that. Support the homie, patreon.com/Flobo Boys. But until then, I'm out. Tell a friend about Lulli and let me know what movie you want me to review on Flobo. Saw it on Netflix.